we want to bring out our special guest. His name, of course, is Bela Lugosi Jr.
Hello, thank you.
Can they hear you? They can hear you, right? Well, Bela, thank you so much for coming.
I'm not used to being on this side of the lights.
No? Did you ever do any acting in your life?
I took Dad's good advice and stayed out of that side of the camera.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, the first question I was going to ask you is, I have a couple of questions, and then we're going to look at some pictures that you brought along, and maybe you can tell us what we're looking at. But first, I was going to ask you a few questions. And the first question is, how do people generally react when they hear that you are Bela Lugosi Jr.? It must be interesting because your father's a legendary guy, and it must be...
You know, what's happened over the years is his name has continued to be known. And so I now, expect the kind of reaction I get. But the kind of reaction I get is every time if I make a reservation in a restaurant or do anything, people say, no. And I said, yeah, really? So his name is recognizable really by a large segment of the population.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's, most people, when you think of Dracula, I mean, there's no one else.
If you say Lugosi, they'll say Bela. If you say Bela, they'll say Lugosi.
That's right. That's right. Now, is there anything fun, like anything interesting about your dad that you might like people to know that they don't know? Is there anything you can think of that,
Well, I don't know about the fun part. But
okay. Doesn't have to be fun. Interesting.
Well, Dad was a voracious reader on all sorts of subjects, and so he was 56 when I was born, by the way, so there was a big age difference. But he was always trying to tell me and impart to me, the wisdom of his years on all sorts of subjects. So I remember that. He was always mentoring me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And did he, along that area too, I mean, he was a classically trained actor who moved from Hungary. Tell me if I'm wrong about any of this, and did he ever talk about any of his early experiences acting, any of his acting stage work?
Well, he was well into his 30s when he came to America. See, 18 plus 20 is 30, 38, almost 40 years old.
Wow.
He was already an accomplished actor in Hungary and in Germany and in other parts of Europe. In Hungary, they had a system where all the famous parts and dramatic parts would be played by various actors, and one actor would be rated against or compared to another actor. And so Dad rose in the ranks till he was the #1 actor in Hungary.
Wow.
On the stage. And then he was also one of the pioneers of the early talkie movies. He did silence and then transitioned into talkie movies.
Yeah, wow. Amazing. Now, do you ever recall, I guess this is sort of an odd, same question like I said before, but do you recall the first time you remember knowing that he was famous, that you had a famous dad?
Yeah, I will answer that question, but I just looked over your shoulder and saw this picture of Dad. I love that picture.
It's a great photo, isn't it?
Yeah, it tells you several things. One, he dressed beautifully. I wish I had those clothes. And there's a lot of pictures catching him with a cigar.
Oh yeah, there are some from the set, even the ones that we'll show you in a couple minutes. He's got a cigar.
He's got a cigar. Yeah. In fact, that was one of my mom's duties, and when she traveled with him, if he had to go out on stage, he'd hand her the cigar, and she'd keep it lit while he went out onto the stage.
That's hysterical. Do you recall the first time sort of remembering that, geez, my dad is famous?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. When you're a kid, you want to blend into the lockers. You don't want to stand out. And I remember when I was young and in school, people knew who Dad was. It was never a big deal to me because I grew up with him.
Right.
But I knew then that there was something about him that created attention.
Right, of course.
I went for the first 6 years of school, first grade through sixth grade. I was enrolled in a military school where I lived.
We have a couple of photos of that too.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah.
Well, anyway, what we do all week is we'd practice marching drills, and then on Sundays there'd be a parade we'd put on, and and the parents would come watch the parade. And I remember when Dad would arrive. I mean, there was always heads were turned. And, you know, he had a voice that carried. He had a way about him that just attracted attention. So I knew in those years, like ages 6 to 12, that you know, my dad was somebody that people recognized.
And were your friends afraid of him?
Well, I remember we did go to the movie once with my friends when I was a child, and they were all frightened. And to me, it was just Dad on the screen, nothing frightening.
Really?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so funny. And you're like, what are you upset about? What's that?
That's right.
So did you go to movies with your dad? Because I'm curious
Well,
what kind of movies he liked. Did he
Well,
like?
I went to the one I just talked about, you know, when my friends went along. But no, we didn't go to the movies much. I do remember later on when I was in my late teens and he was, you know, elderly, we did go to a movie in Hollywood. And I remember there's a long line to get in, and we were standing in line, and the manager came out and escorted Dad up to the front of the line and in. And I remember that.
Oh, wow.
And I'm pretty sure it was a Marlon Brando movie.
Really?
And he told me he thought that Marlon Brando was one of the best actors
Okay,
as far as he was concerned.
that was my next question. Did he have any actors
Yeah.
that he really liked? So
Well,
Marlon
that's
Brando.
the only one I remember him
Wow,
saying
okay.
that.
Wow, that's great. Now the question, this is another one I think is interesting, because obviously you look a little like your dad. You could have cashed in and done some acting work. Did you ever think about that and cashing in on the name? And
I didn't even get to think about it because from the get-go, Dad thought that being on the talent side in the entertainment business, you were too dependent on agents and producers, and he told me that I should get a profession where I had some independence.
he was right.
So, and anyway, it was a good thing because I don't have any talent. And if I did it, I would always be compared to him.
Of course. But I just meant purely for cashing in on it, you know. Just cashing in on the name, you know. Yes, but you became a lawyer.
Yes, I did.
Right, so
And still am.
you did, and you did what he, no, but I mean, and you did what he suggested. And
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
He never got to know it because he died when I was 18.
Wow, okay.
So he had met my wife, but none of my children.
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah.
Oh, wow. But he did meet your wife.
Yes.
That's nice. Oh, wow. Well, do you want to take a look? Let's take a look at a couple of these photos. Can you see them okay if I
Okay?
can you see all right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is from the movie we're seeing tonight.
Yes. Now, I was going to military school, and this is 1948, and I was 10 years old, and I visited the set. And that's Dad as Dracula, and that's Glenn Strange as the monster.
Yeah.
And I remember they had a little, like a refreshment cart. And when people would take a break, they'd go over and get some tea or some drink or something, going over there with Frankenstein and going over there with the Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr. It was quite a special experience. And
That's
I'll never forget it, yeah.
That's amazing, yeah.
I don't remember being that tall. Yeah, that was on the set.
That was on the set also,
Yeah,
on the set of the same film. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Next one?
Well, that's just a candid shot at home. You know, Dad loved a lot of things. So good cigars, good wine, good food. And he tried to eat healthy. And so you can see on the table is, you know, all sorts of things. Like, I don't even know what they all are. And it looks like I was like 3 years old there.
Oh, okay.
So Dad would have been 58 or
Oh, okay.
59.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that was the lady who I think worked at our house.
Oh. All right, can we go to the next one? That's
Yeah.
so cute. What a cute photo.
Me and Dad. Yeah, I was young there, through.
Is that, I'm assuming that's probably
Sure.
just in your backyard or something? Or
Yes, we lived really an interesting house right near the Universal Studios.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was like a custom-built home that some man had built, and Dad bought it.
Oh, wow.
And it had, gardens, and
Wow.
I remember it quite well. Yeah.
Wow. Great. Oh, can we go to the next one?
Okay, now you asked me whether I had been on the set for any of Dad's movies.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I remember is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Oh, is that true?
But
Oh, really?
I know that I was there because there's a picture.
That's you. Yeah. That's you with
right.
Boris Karloff, too, the original Frankenstein.
Well, I'd always kidded Sarah Karloff that she was older than me.
Uh-huh.
And one time when she saw this picture, she says, "Wait a minute, that's my dad, and I wasn't born, at that time when he made that movie."
So something's wrong
Yeah.
here. Something's wrong with the math here.
Okay.
Look, and he's got a cigarette, too. Frankenstein had a cigarette.
Yeah,
And here's another
that's the
friend.
difference. Karloff likes cigarettes and tea.
Right, okay.
Dad likes cigars, big dogs, good wine.
He knew what he liked.
Yeah, right.
What about this gentleman? Do you recall this gentleman?
Yes, that's Lon Chaney Jr.
And I guess that's from this movie also, right? Or could it be from a different? Your dad was in other Wolfman movies.
I don't know.
All right.
I can't say.
Well, it's a good picture. Can we move on to the next one?
Yeah. Now, Dad did play the Frankenstein monster,
Yes, in Ghost of Frankenstein, I believe.
and
Right?
that's
Yeah.
that's a picture of me and Dad.
That's
when he was in
great.
costume. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was a teenager.
Yeah, you're getting older here now.
Yeah.
You're growing up.
Yeah, I was high school age there. When my dad had remarried after he was divorced.
Oh, okay. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
remarried.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what that is.
Oh, this is from Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I put this in because I thought it was really funny. It was a great photo, just showing that how much he had a sense of humor, and obviously, he had fun when he did stuff.
Well, it was interesting because it was a very dark set, foreboding kind of an atmosphere, and the studio hired comics to fool around and get people laughing. And
Exactly, and that's
Yeah.
who that is in the middle, the Bobby Barber,
Yeah.
who used to do that on their
Yeah.
movies, yeah. How funny is that? There's an early
Oh,
one of
that's
your dad.
in Europe. Yeah, I mean, well-dressed man, I would say.
Very well dressed, yeah.
Yeah, just
And that's an early,
yeah. He had a look. That was early.
very
Yeah.
very dramatic one. Great.
That's all he'd need to look at me that way, and I'd be right in line. Can you imagine?
I would imagine that would be like with anybody, not just you, too.
That's right.
I better imagine he went into a diner and he could do that.
Right.
Are there any other photos? Or is that it? Oh, that's it? Okay.
That's
Great.
pretty good. Pretty
okay.
good, yeah.
So that's it. I guess we're gonna start the movie now. So I just wanted to thank you so much for coming out. I really
Certainly,
appreciate
Joe.
it. And yeah.
Thank you, and I'll wait around in the lobby if anyone would like to come up and say hi.
Yeah, he'll be
I'll
out in the lobby
I'll
after
I'll
the
be there.
movie. So please come up and say hello.